where the case of Simon Ekpa and Nnamdi Kanu has make it like a double-edged sword for the agitation of Biafra, as we are talking now, because as the whole world attention has been shifted to Nnamdi Kanu, so also the world attention has been shifted to Simon Ekpa, and the whole world they are deliberating about. I mean, the bail deal that Simon Ekpa just got this recently, which we call it victory. What is your reaction?
A big victory for Simon Ekpa, for her gotten to that level of properly showing sign of relief and freedom at the end of the day from the Alexander Stubb-led government, or no? But where you are talking about Finland currently now, Simon Ekpa is not extremely being kept in incommunicado. With report having it that he has started having access to numerous visitors. Biafran government in exile are already meeting him. The Finnish government have granted him a kind of access, to the public space, and he's been celebrated, signaling that any moment from now, where he is going to experience release and freedom, before possibly the 16th day, where he is going to appear in the court. And before that, from what we learn, Simon Ekpa is in good spirit. He was given a few minutes time to share with his family and return back to negotiation table with the Finland government. But the good news is that he has rejected anything that's going to enter in an agreement with that will stop him from continuing agitation and continuing being the de facto president of Biafran government in exile. Dr. Ngozi Arabweze and some of the top knots within that space has attracted diplomats from around the world, and they are trying to engage ministers and ambassadors of respective countries concerning Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa is not just an ordinary person. Some will come and say he's an athlete, a top politician. He isn't a top politician just because he needed to do that. Something triggered it, and what triggered it is what we have. That is what have made Simon Ekpa what he is today. I like it or reject it. Simon Ekpa has added so much value in projecting Biafran solidarity around the world, and we must understand that very well. That we must give it to him, no matter how anybody might reason it. He has added value, and what is the value? His resistance in terms of trying to question the rationale of Fulanis in the Nigerian army, heading towards the eastern part of the country, killing Igbos, and nobody is saying anything. The governors are not talking. The political leaders in that region are not saying anything. And there's a grand plan to make sure that everything in that place, including the economy, is destabilized. Yes, a lone voice in the wilderness. A lot of people might say it, that Simon Ekpa became a lone voice, and that is what they have thoroughly investigated. Some agencies of the United Nations and African Union, in collaboration with Ambazonia and other things. Forget what happened, how Ambazonia and the rest of them moved out from Biafra land. All those things are being considered currently now because of Simon Ekpa's relationship with Dr. Cho, who is championing the Ambazonia alliance with Biafra at the end of the day. Yes, they needed to move out. Of course, whatever reason that might have triggered our brothers who are now part of the Cameroon to move out from the Biafran nation, that is being handled now. And this is what one of the things Simon Ekpa has actually achieved. The fear is that he's going to reappear, and his reappearance, we don't know what it's going to look like. It's going to be another turn. Yes, that they're saying. But he has never contravened any offense. He has now been found to be criminally, and legally, past judgment on that he committed any of this offense has been projected by those who are handling that issue in Lahti in Finland.
Look, we saw that there is a behind this prosecution of Simon Ekpa, especially from Nigeria government, when we see Alexander Sub meeting with Shetima, and everybody is wondering what has actually created a sudden relationship between Nigeria and Finland, if not Simon Ekpa. But do you think that this land has been weakened or it has been cut off? That was what make Simon Ekpa to be experiencing a little bit of relief at this moment.
No, it's just that the thing, everything that is happening now, why it looks as if the Finnish government is softening the environment, is because Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been disconnected from the global diplomatic circle. Yes, I can tell you that very clearly.
Worldwide?
Yes, worldwide. You can see his only closest ally, that's supposed to be Emmanuel Macron, has been instructed on what to do immediately after the Israeli, Iran war. They have discovered a lot of things, and most of the things, Nigeria is being put on the radar for being part of the ongoing global, anti-Christian movement. Yes, all over the world. So it's a big one. I know what it means to Western powers like that, when nations turn against their own people, are using religious, base to sideline or to mute the Christians or kill the Christians without any form of provocation. So it has been cut off from that diplomatic circle, and from that angle now, it has weakened. The white guys have a way of playing smart on Nigerian leaders, simply because they want to get rid of one particular person. They can empty a lot of things, and now they have signed a certain agreement, cash crude, whatever agreement with the Finland government. How are they going to reverse it now? How are they going to stop it now that they seem to be dancing to dancing another tune completely from what that agreement of oil or crude oil did? They entered that triggered Alexander Finnish government from going against their own party member Simon Ekpa, simply because he was asking that justice for the people of the Biafran land that are being killed by the Fulanis.
Sorry, we have to come all the way from Finland back to our Africa here at the back door here, Ghana. We saw how Ghana citizen having issue with the one Igbo of Ghana, and now they are destroying some Igbo property in that place. But all of a sudden we saw that things turned around and they started begging for forgiveness. So what do you have to say about that?
But this is not the first time. If you go to Gambia, Namibia, and other East Africa, you still have people, who are kings there. You still have Chinese who are kings there. You still have other tribes who are kings in that place, and these are something the man proposed about 10 years ago, that he wanted to build a community, where he is going to have, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the perception that some of this thing is being engineered by the Nigerian government, they poison the mind of some Ghanaians, and because Igbophobia seems to be everywhere. That's what it means. But the man is not a criminal. He has a proven record of businesses. He's married to a Ghanaian woman, and he has never offended anybody in that regard. The only thing is that he is an Igbo man, and his presence there looks as if they are projecting another thing with that gun, just because of indigenization. I've been there for years, and I try to establish our people. There are people there now. The Igbos are still there. The Igbos are Gambia. There are still Igbo of Gambia. There are still Igbo of Namibia. They are there. Why the big noise, about this very man now who is in Ghana? So you can see that is coming from Nigeria. That attack is coming from Nigeria. But unfortunately, the government of Ghana, have looked into it and found that there was nothing wrong with, please come, let the person come to Igbo land and become the Igbo of China in Igbo land and build us, communities and factories. Bros, that's what we need.
Develop your area.
I'm telling you, bros, we want outsiders to come. Let them come and build whatever they want. Please, can they come? And look at the United States of America. How many people, continents, nations, tribes, race that made up of America. America is made up of 4 powerful tribes.
Now, let's end this here in Nigeria. Recently, I listened to one guy that said that gradually Igbo people has successfully make sure that they kick them out of Lagos state politics completely due to this recent local government election that there is no any Igbo. They don't let Igbo come closer, and he now makes some a point that in the past you usually hear some Igbo names like a commissioner, like even sometimes maybe chairman or thereabout. But this time around, it's like they have cleaned them.
Yes, every time has a phase. When a certain phase it come and go. It carries its own breeze. That's what I'm saying. Let us just pray that this Bola Ahmed Tinubu does not repeat itself in Aso Rock. Then you will know what will happen in Lagos. But let me tell you, the 2023 dusting of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in his cabal, was seen as a major political threat to not only the indigenous people. The indigenous Yorubas in Lagos want to associate with the Igbo. People who are causing problem in Lagos here against the Igbos are people who come from other states that there are Yorubas. That's the people that are causing problem. The people who are known as, Lagos for Lagosians, indigenous Lagosians, are celebrating the Igbo nation. But those who came from outside, you can see, but the face will come and go. I can tell what happens. But are you trying to tell me there are no Yorubas in the Bayelsa, there are no Yorubas in in Rivers, that are voting their respective parties? There are. They are Nigerians. But you see, that's the signal that are coming. Is a clear definition of our Jewish, sentiment among other tribes, because it's not common in the Igbo land. I don't think it's common in Igbo land, where because you come from a particular tribe and other, and you can also witness it in terms of social engagement in this part of the world, state. These people, if you look at it very well, go and talk to real Lagosians themselves, those who came from Lagos. Yes, they have indigenous Lagosians. Yes. You can't tell me that you don't have indigenous Lagosians. Indigenous Lagosians. You see how they don't come from not Mowe, it's Mowe, Lagos, all those areas that are nearby now. They are the one creating this kind of thing. And they have told them that it cannot continue. Yes, it can happen now, but will it continue? Can it happen tomorrow? There's this advocacy based on the Igbo contribution in Lagos. They should have been given a deputy governor slot, at least for their contribution and hard work in Lagos State.
Thank you very much.